Hey guys, Drew Raymond back here downtown with another Facebook Live report for you. Commerce Lexington is, of course, supporting the small businesses in the area. Salute to small business. Big week here, of course, through Commerce Lexington. We have Sarah Brock from Forcht Bank, the presenting sponsor. Kim Reeder from Children's Law Center. We're going to get to Kim in just a minute. First of all, congratulations. Good to see you. Got to move that mic just for a moment. Doing a lot of things here anyway.
Thank you.
Sarah, first of all, just talk a little about the fact that you all are the presenting sponsor. A little bit more in terms of your role with the bank and why it's important to, sponsor events like this in the community.
Absolutely. So at Forcht Bank, of course, we're glad to sponsor this. We've been doing it for several years now, and it gets us closer to the small businesses in our community. I'm a regional retail manager at Forcht Bank. I've been there about 11 years, and I help to support our frontline staff to give that customer service to all of our customers, including the small businesses that are with us. So we're happy to do this, and congratulations to you and your team. It's just something that we look forward to every year.
Outstanding. Appreciate it very much, Sarah Brock. Let's walk over here for a minute, Kim, and talk a little about the fact that it's not just you talking with us today. We got a team here from the Children's Law Center. I'm going to put this on here so I don't mess up. But anyway, Anyway, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Kim, along with Tiffany and Sam, right?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. All right. And Kim, I know you're with the Children's Law Center. Just a little bit in terms of, what you've thought about this week. Big week for Commerce Lexington. And as, we talk about saluting small businesses in the area. What's it mean to you to be, impacted this way, to be supported this way, honored this way?
Yeah. Well, for the organization, it's really meaningful because we just kind of reinvigorated the Lexington office in December. This is now the largest number of full-time employees that we've had in this office ever. We're going to have externs joining us in the fall. So it really means a lot to have the business community recognize that the lots of hard work that we've put in to reinvigorate here in Central Kentucky, that's been meaningful.
Yeah, I kind of buried the lead here. You are the nonprofit community impact award winner, so my apologies on that. But again, all the best to you as you move forward and continue to progress and build things over here. But I don't know who wants to take this next, but we're going to kind of segue here and talk a little bit about the fact that you've been around since 1989. Yeah. I know that as far as this office in Lexington, you added this in 2009. So just kind of tell me a little bit in terms of the types of services that you offer here.
Yeah. So that's evolved over the years, but now the direct services we offer, which means the services that we're offering directly to clients, go to clients who are between birth and 25 years old. And I always forget to say our services are free. So that's an important thing for anyone to know. And we provide really in the direct service model, it's two kind of key services. We can be appointed as guardians ad litem in court, which means we represent kids in high conflict custody cases, and when they're victims of crimes, on the dependency, neglect, and abuse cases, and then also in protection order cases. But a whole separate piece that we do is with education matters. So when children are involved in school discipline matters or special education needs, we make sure that their the rights are observed.
Multifaceted, what you do over here.
Yes.
In terms of the challenges that kids face these days, and just moving forward as you continue to expand over here, what are some of the most sought after services that you continue to see for people coming in here, families that certainly are in need of assistance?
Yeah. What we see a lot of, and I may ask Tiffany to pipe in because so I am the director of this office and also an attorney. Tiffany is a staff attorney as well. And Sam is our paralegal and community advocate, and he is a fluent Spanish speaker. So he kind of brings a new facet of services to our model. And so where I see a lot of potential for growth here in Central Kentucky and honestly throughout the Commonwealth is on our education cases, because we get lots of phone calls, just out of the blue for people looking for advocacy for their kids, and especially as you have diminishing local coffers, it's hard to provide all the services. So having an advocate for, even with budget constraints, kids being able to receive the services that they're entitled to, it's really important. Tiffany, can you think of a case we've had that was particularly meaningful on the education front?
I mean, I think that all of our cases are pretty meaningful on the education front, especially because I think a lot of the families and students aren't really aware of the services or accommodations or supports they can ask for in the school setting. But what we also see too is that a lot of our students need different concerns addressed that may happen outside of the school. And so I know with the direct legal representation, we also do community outreach, and that allows us to connect with a lot of important stakeholders in the community that might be able to support them in a more holistic way. We went to a recent event where we were able to get some backpacks for some of our students and kiddos and provide them with extra resources and support that they might not have been able to have without those.
Yeah, I don't know who wants to take this next, but just all encompassing, what's the most difficult part of your job? It's a very open-ended question, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, Tiffany and I were having a conversation about this morning. The voices that we represent, they're not always voices that societally we pay a lot of attention to. And so we're fighting battles to have vulnerable voices acknowledged. And, a hard part of that is anytime you're battling against kind of ingrained ideas, you don't always win, right? And so sometimes, I know for me, I think for Tiffany, the proud moments and also the hard moments we have are, regardless of the legal outcome, whether it's what we want or not, it's that the children's voices were heard, right? That they knew that someone thought their voice was important and that it needed to be, put out there. And so it's a meaningful thing, but it's hard. Do you have anything to add?
I would just sort of echo what Kim has said. I think a lot of our clients are, for lack of a better word, a bit messy. Their lives don't fit into these easy cookie cutter boxes. And I think sometimes the solutions that they have in front of them aren't always the only solutions that we want to use. But in the legal setting, sometimes we're limited to what we can or can't do. But I think what is challenging but also rewarding is that we have to be a bit more creative in some of our solutions with our families.
Yes, well put.
And I'll just echo onto that a little bit more as well. Of the folks that we serve, I think it's, a big source of pride for all of us. We're a small team, but I think that we're a scrappy one. But at the same time, there's still a lot of folks across the Commonwealth from all sorts of different backgrounds who would really benefit from having this kind of advocacy that we can provide that just are not in contact with us, for one reason or another. So that's part of my job that I'm really excited about, is kind of expanding our outreach beyond Lexington, beyond, the Northern Kentucky space, and getting connected with new folks, with new organizations. There are a lot of great people across the state that are doing a lot of great work that we can really benefit from building out some partnerships with. And I'm really excited to see the direction that takes. Really excited to see the ways in which we can expand our services and reach new kids and new families who need support, who don't have advocates, who have voices that, legal systems, social systems, whatever it may be, are not listening to. I think that's, despite all of the challenges that come with this kind of work, I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah,
and I think I share that excitement.
Right. Overall outreach. Partnerships, they're so crucial. Let's address those for a minute. How would you describe how those partnerships have evolved for CLC and just how important they are to your mission?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, very important. We have all sorts of partnerships. We, it can just be forming relationships with judges and their staff, right? I mean, to let them know that what we're available to be able to handle, right? It can be, partnerships with various legal aid organizations, and whether that's doing community outreach or just referrals back and forth. I even though many times in the education cases we're sitting on the other side of the table from school districts, there are certainly relationships we've formed to be able to collaboratively come up with solutions. And you know, those are just a few that spring to mind. I don't know if you have others that you can think of.
I think that fits in just also being able to connect with other attorneys in this area that might not work directly in the nonprofit space, but see why it is a benefit for families to be able to have access to those familiar with the legal process.
You've made a lot of investments, of course, and I know a lot of those have been system-wide, just in terms of recruiting, retaining attorneys, social workers. Can you talk about some of those changes, how they've played out?
Well, so for this office, our the big change is that, excuse me, Tiffany and I started in December, and so this office had been, we hadn't had anyone in this office for a few months at that point, and so it was a big deal to kind of reinvest and reinvigorate this office. As I said earlier, adding Sam that's another really critical component, because he, I think, expands the bandwidth of Tiffany and me to be able to handle clients, and also is just going to expand our ability to collaborate with partners. Clearly, he's very ambitious on all those points. And so those investments have been important. You know, we're trying to get to know folks in the law school community at UK, because I think our dream for someday is to have a clinic, you know, with UK in the same way that they do in Northern Kentucky. That would be, you know, that if we could work toward that and really, you know, be exposing young lawyers to the meaningful work that you can do in children's advocacy, you know, building a pipeline of people that, you know, expands, you know, infinitely.
Yeah, no, it's great. You're having those thoughts and tangibly just getting some things on paper and having that vision. That's awesome. The CLC has a fundraising event that's coming up in September. This is called Boots, Bourbon, and Biscuits.
Yes.
What about that event? How can people participate?
Yeah. So that will be on September 26th. It is in the Erlanger Reception Center. That's right. From 11 to 2. It's a great way to ring in the fall. So there's a silent auction. There's entertainment. You can, you know, participate, show up, have fun, participate. But, you know, of course, if it also just, the whole idea spurs anyone to just donate online, we always, you know, appreciate that as well.
Yeah. You know, in terms of the region, we appreciate everything you do, of course. As far as the way things are going to grow from here, like, what more do you want people to know about your organization overall?
Well, that we're here. I guess that's a piece of that, and the way that we have, I think, the most direct community access is with the education matters that we handle. The guardian ad litem matters, you know, you have to be appointed by a judge in those cases. And so there's a little bit of you have to always navigate through the court system. But with the education matters, you know, that's something that we can really interact directly with parents and directly with the community. And I think just, you know, understanding that that's what we do, perhaps being patient with us, because, you know, there are now 3 of us, but, you know, we are small but mighty, but, you know, it may take us a day or 2 to get back to you.
That's all good. No,
yeah, that's right.
You know, as you think about this awards luncheon coming up tomorrow, have you thought much about this week, what it means to be honored in this way, to get the nonprofit award, and to know that, you know, this is still virtually a start for you, that you're really, like I said, increasing services, working on how you can build things down here. We're located on Short Street, by the way.
Yeah.
But to be shoulder to shoulder with people tomorrow at this luncheon, how crucial is that to you?
So, as I said earlier, for the organization, we're just delighted to be recognized and to have the business community see us as adding value to the community. We're delighted. I will tell you, for me personally, couple of things. I started my career as a tax attorney. For the first 20 years of my career, I represented corporate taxpayers. So I very much understand the importance of a strong business community and how businesses, create the jobs that are going to create stability for the families that we're serving. And so to be honored by the business community is very meaningful. It's also, this work, it's an honor to do the work, and to have others recognize that this work is important and is something we need in the community. I mean, I could get teary.
I see it right away. I mean, I hear the passion in your voice. And Kim, thanks so much.
Yeah,
great to see you. Tiffany as well. Sam, thanks for being here down here on Short Street here at the Children's Law Center. Going to be honored tomorrow at the awards luncheon here. Salute to Small Business Week here through Commerce Lexington. To register for the awards luncheon, all you got to do is go to commercelexington.com. Drew Rammond with LEX News. We'll see you tomorrow.